The Jets just made a trade for a cornerback from the Tennessee Titans named Jarvis Brownlee, and they didn't give up much. They gave up a 6th-round pick. They're getting a 7th-round pick back, and they're bringing in this second-year quarterback, Jarvis Brownlee. And I have to be honest, I wasn't familiar with his work, so I quickly did my research, and I found this paragraph from the Tennessean to describe Jarvis Brownlee. 5th-round pick in 2024, started 14 games for the Titans as a rookie, and viewed as one of the bright spots in the Titans' rebuild from last season.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good about this. Brownlee logged an interception and 9 pass breakups to go along with 75 tackles. I'm like, this is amazing. How the hell did they get this guy for his song? And then I read the next sentence. And Jet fans, he'll fit right in. He was also among the NFL's most penalized defenders, often being flagged for pass interference and defensive holding penalties.
Oh, God.
The issue reoccurred at the start of the season when Brownlee was penalized 3 times in Week 1 alone. So, welcome aboard, Jarvis.
Right.
You're going to fit right in.
You're going to be amazing until we hate you.
Well, joining us right now, a guy who does a great job covering the NFL, the Jets and the Giants for SNY, Connor Hughes. Connor, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing well, guys. How are you?
I'm all right. So what does this say? Before we get to the Giants stuff, the Jets trade for a cornerback in Jarvis Brownlee. Is that them admitting that Brandon Stevens stinks? Like, how do you take this?
No, I think they just need some reinforcements. I know fans are really high on A.Z. Thomas, but the fact is that the guy's a rookie. It's going to take time for him to get ready, and he was considered someone who was a bit raw coming in anyway. There's really not too much behind him. Stevens has been an issue. Sauce Gardner struggling a bit, and I think the Quincy Williams injury was a wake-up call that the depth can very quickly become a concern, considering what the Jets are going to have to do now with him out. So I think they saw this as a guy who I'm sure Muji did, had a pretty decent grade on a little bit ago, and so for a pick swap, why not give it a chance and see if he doesn't acclimate himself a little bit better to this scheme as opposed to the one in Tennessee. But you were just reading off the stats, man. The penalties are a concern with him. He's a handsy player. But the one thing that actually stood out to me, just doing very, very quick research before I hopped on here with you guys, Pro Football Focus is in no way, shape, or form the be-all or end-all of evaluating a player, but he received some pretty noticeably high marks as a run defender.
Oh, interesting.
77.7 mark last year, or 77.7 mark so far this year, 83.5 a year ago. Those are the Jets have been pretty terrible tackling. 16 missed tackles last week, 10 a week before that, 8 a week before that. So maybe at the minimum he can be a bit more physical player and help with that.
Connor, how are the Jets planning, just to stay on the dim real quick before we hop over to the Giants and the Jaxson Dart news that we've been talking about all afternoon, but with Quincy Williams now short-term IR, you talk about the tackling issues. It's even more compounded now. Is there a mitigation of this? What do you do?
Well, it's either going to be McCrary. I don't know, man. I mean, it's kind of an issue now. Like,
right.
Don't get me wrong. Like, Quincy's been struggling. Like it's been an issue for him this year. I think he's swimming a little bit in terms of elements of a new scheme, thinking more than just playing. Which if you think when the Jets first acquired Quincy Williams, that was kind of what he struggled with early. Once he got the defense down and was just attack, that's when you saw his athleticism and everything fly. Him over pursuing and things like that, it's a result of, I think he's in his head a little bit right now. But either way, he's still a talented player, and he still makes plays when he's out there. They're going to miss him. Like, you kind of deal with the bugaboos of Quincy Williams, because you saw even the play where he came through and hit Baker Mayfield's hand, nearly forced a fumble. I mean, that's the stuff that he does. That's the good. That unfortunately now they're going to be missing. It's going to be an absence, they feel.
No doubt. Quincy Williams is one of the better defenders. He's going to be missed over the next 4 weeks. Now, let's get to this Dart stuff. Are you surprised that they made this move now?
No, I'm not. I thought at first, Ev, that it was going to be halftime of the Charger game. Like, if you would have asked me coming right out of that game a week ago, I would have thought, no, this is going to be one where they give Russell Wilson one more half. If it's equally bad, boom, then you go to him and he makes his first start against the Saints second half. When we spoke to Brian Dable via conference call, and he did not in any way, shape, or form commit to Russell Wilson, did not give Russell Wilson any form of a vote of confidence, that immediately was when the alarms went off and it became, okay, yeah, the quarterback change is coming. Because you don't act like that in a presser on a Monday when you know, like, hey, guys, this is like week one, you don't know or Monday of the game, you don't know who your quarterback's going to be. No. If they were going to commit to him, they would have done exactly what Brian Daboll did after the Commander game and say Russell Wilson is our starting quarterback. So the moment that he was timid with that, it became, Jackson's going to be the guy.
Yeah, no, we heard the interviews that were going on. We heard that press conference and after the fact, and it was, we saw this after Washington, so we know that this is different, and it absolutely was. Is there a plan with Russ to move him or to cut him or to let him be the backup? Like, what is the best option here for Russell Wilson? Because there are some teams like the Bengals we talked about a couple of days ago that it could be needy for a quarterback. Is there a plan other than just him being the backup?
Right now he's the backup. I mean, I think that's what they're going to say is the plan until it's not the plan. I mean, Tiki, 10 days ago, the plan was to not rush Jaxson Dart in there, and they were going to stick with Russell Wilson, and they didn't want Jaxson Dart to play. I mean, that was literally the report that came out from Adam Schefter 10 days ago, and now Jaxson Dart's the Giants' starting quarterback. And this is, 10 days removed, from the 450-yard game that Russell Wilson threw. So things change. I think the fact that Jameis Winston is somebody that has been and has a significantly better relationship with Jackson than Russell does. I mean, you routinely see Jackson and Jameis talking. You routinely see those two guys around each other. That's not really the case with Russell Wilson. Winston's also under contract for next year, so he can be the Giants' backup next year. Russell Wilson is not under contract for the Giants next year. I think if anybody wants to make the Giants an offer, they're going to listen to it, and they could absolutely enact it, because Wilson doesn't really strike me as a guy who's going to be a tremendous backup quarterback for anybody. I mean, he wants to start. That's why he didn't come to the Giants last year. He didn't want to compete for the job. That's why he did sign with the Giants this year, was because he was going to be handed the job. So it would surprise me. I mean, look, he's going to say everything right when he speaks to the media on Wednesday and say all the right things and sing all the right notes. But I think ultimately you'll probably. I don't think Russell Wilson's going to be with the Giants significantly longer, and it would be surprising to me if he's on the team the rest of the year.
Right.
Yeah, and, I know it's not fantasy football or the MLB trade deadline, but I look around and I say the Cincinnati Bengals, and it's like, why would they trade for Russ? Or even the Vikings. I know Carson Wentz had one good day, but he's Carson Wentz. Like, there seems to be fits for Russell Wilson on the trade market, right?
Yeah, and if somebody else goes down. I mean, look, quarterbacks drop like flies right now. I mean, a couple with Justin Fields went down. We saw Purdy go down, although I know he's coming back. Guys go down, and I just wrote this in the column that I filed for SNY, is that like Russell Wilson doesn't make sense for the Giants right now anymore, because at 0-3, they're not making the playoffs. I mean, there's been 5 teams in NFL history who have made the playoffs after an 0-3 start.
Right.
You guys have watched the Giants this year. They are not going to be the 6th. Like you know that. We all know they're not going to be the 6th.
Unless Jaxson Dart, Connor, is the second coming of Pat Mahomes.
Right.
That could change things.
And they go 14-3 as the season is done.
Yeah, there we go. But the thing is that once the Giants are 0-3 and the playoffs are now a very, very big long shot mathematically, every moment that Russell Wilson's out there is meaningless. He's not the root of all the Giants' problems. I don't think Russell Wilson can't play anymore. It's not one of those things. I don't think he's very good anymore, but it's not that he can't play. But when he's out there, he's not making anybody better on the field, not really making anyone better off the field. So the time he's there, it's not doing anyone any good within the organization.
That's good perspective.
Get Dart out there now. Like, once Dart proves that he is not a liability, and once Dart proves that he is ready, every look that he sees from this moment on out is going to be invaluable to him. So that's where it's like, okay, yes, put Dart out there, play Dart now, because if the Giants are going to compete, sure, keep playing Russell Wilson. Yeah, he's the veteran. He'll see things Dart hasn't. But now you'll deal with the ups and downs of Dart when you know the playoffs aren't happening.
Yeah, so the question was asked, did you think that Jaxson Dart was ready? And Dave's answer was the one he gave even when he was announced as a second-team quarterback, that we wouldn't have him there if we didn't think he was ready. So you mentioned it, at 0-3, this feels like it's the only way for the Giants to go. But when he became the second-string quarterback a month or so ago, it almost felt inevitable at some point, didn't it?
Yeah, and I'll be completely honest with you, Tiki, that I genuinely believe that if the Giants had held an open quarterback competition, that if this wasn't something that was guaranteed to Russell Wilson,
right?
And I know this from talking to people within their building too, there are some that believe that Jaxson Dart would have won it outright.
Yeah.
That if Dart was given an opportunity to win the starting job, Dart would have won it outright. I mean, look, the Giants were absolutely right to have Russell Wilson and Dart at the time of drafting Dart, because if you talk to countless scouts, executives, most people shared the opinion of Dart that he was incredibly green coming from that Ole Miss Lane Kiffin offense, and he probably needed a redshirt year.
Yeah.
It wasn't until he got in the Giants building that he just started picking up stuff so quickly, and you realize, like, whoa, yeah, okay, he might have played in that non-pro friendly offense in Ole Miss, but that doesn't mean he can't play pro-style ball. I mean, he picked up everything lightning quick, and especially once the preseason started, you could tell the guy was ready. So I genuinely believe, and I know I'm not alone in this, that if this was an open competition, he probably would have been the guy. And once he was made backup, it was a very short leash on Russell Wilson. And honestly, Tiki, I think if Russell didn't do and play the way that he did in Dallas, you probably see Dart starting week 3.
What do you expect? And we're talking to Connor Hughes. Giants get set to begin the Jaxson Dart era on Sunday against the Chargers. What do you think this looks like? What do you think the play calling looks like? What do you think the Jaxson Dart-led offense looks like on Sunday?
You know, it's funny. Ryan Dunleavy, who covers the Giants as well for the New York Post, he says this all the time, and it's so true. He's the first one that pointed it out, and once he did, I was like, you're kind of right. When Russell Wilson was out there during training camp in the preseason compared to when Jaxson Dart was out there, it was almost as if the Giants had two completely different offenses. Like when it's Wilson, it's either chuck it deep, check it down, or get sacked. Like that's what Russell Wilson does. Then Dart goes out there and you see he's running with the ball. He's attacking the middle of the field. He's checking it down sometimes, but also being aggressive down the field. Like there's just this energy and this excitement and this confidence that Jaxson Dart plays with, and it is infectious to the play calling. It's infectious to the offensive line, the receivers, the running backs, the tight ends. I mean, his personality brings that out of people. And I think you're going to see a bit more functional of an offense than what we've seen in a while. And something that I'm very curious about, and this is just me talking. I haven't spoken to anybody. This isn't sourced or anything. Dart is Brian Daboll's guy. He is. Like he is Brian Daboll's guy. He's the one he slammed the table for. Mike Kafka has been the one that's been calling plays.
Yeah.
I want to talk to Daboll on Wednesday during the press conference just to see if now that, like, 2 of the 3 games, Kafka hasn't been good either. Like, he the same as Russell's been bad. Kafka's been bad absent that Dallas game.
Right, especially in the red zone.
I'm curious if, especially in the red zone. I'm curious if Daboll doesn't get more involved in the play calling now because of how hands-on he has been with Jaxson Dart. Like, I'm very curious if that's going to happen.
That's interesting.
I don't know. That's just me talking.
Right, Connor, that's interesting, though, because remember when the Daniel Jones, in the end of his era, he was asked that very question. This is 2 years ago, so before Dave took the play calling over, and Daniel Jones diplomatically answered it, I know that it's Kafka's voice in my head, in my ear, right, even though it may have been Dave's calling the plays. One more question from me, Connor. Evan and I were speculating about who made this decision. Obviously, it was ultimately in the hands of Brian Daboll. He's the head coach. But I think he probably actually had the conversation that he said he was going to have. Sit down with the staff, talk this through, and figure out what was best. Because as you just described, the offense is going to be different. Right, the zone read run game is not an option with Russell Wilson. It is devastating to defenses to have to plan for that. And so I think ultimately, as a staff, they probably agreed with this. Do you think that that's the case?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think that everyone was ready to see Dart. I mean, it's just he's different, man. Like the aura. I think it's such like at this point it's kind of become a joke. Like who's aura farming, all of that stuff, but. The way that I compare it is there's confidence and there's cockiness, and there's confidence and there's arrogance.
Right.
And there's a difference. They're very similar when you describe them, but there is a difference in the way that it's carried out. Like when Zach Wilson was here with the Jets, there was a cockiness and an arrogance. Like it was kind of like, oh, I know and it rubs people the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Dart's the guy that you can tell where he is. Everybody wants to be around him. And it's not inauthentic. It's not disingenuous. It is truly who he is. He's talking to the defenders. He's talking to the offensive guys. He's bringing everybody around him. Like, he's hanging out with everyone in the locker room, just casually talking to him. Like, he's the person, it's a silly analogy, but it's true. It's that everyone wants to be at his birthday party, but also Jackson's going to go to everybody's birthday party.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how he is, and it's who he is, and it's not fake. It's genuine.
Right.
And I think that just rubs off on everyone, that when he's out there, there's his confidence makes everyone else more confident as well.
Yeah, no, it's interesting you say that because people will call and scream, and they already have done this when I compare, what Brian Daboll did with Josh Allen. and this has nothing to do, because Josh Allen is a superior player, and he probably always will be to Jaxson Dart. I hope not, but whatever. From a personality standpoint, if you ever go to Buffalo and you hang around that team, as I've done a few times, that's exactly who Josh Allen is. And it makes me realize why Dave's, maybe personality-wise, was banging the table for him. Because it matters when you have a quarterback, regardless of race, background, position, the quarterback loves you, and they love him. That's what Josh Allen feels like when you go to Buffalo Bills camp. And Jaxson Dart, and with the short time that we spent with him, I know what you were saying, Connor. It's exactly what it feels like. He's cool with everybody, and that gives you the chance to be a great leader. Doesn't mean you're going to be a great leader, but it gives you the chance to be one.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be an interesting time. Jaxson Dart's debut, and hopefully the Jets actually win a freaking football game so Aaron Glenn can be right.
That's what I'm annoyed about. That's honestly, Evan, what I'm most annoyed about is I was very excited to have my flight to Miami at 8:30 in the morning on Sunday. I was covering the Jets Monday night. I was going to get in there super early, watch the Giants at 1, spend some time on the beach, maybe get a tea time. I see this announcement, and I just filed my expense back to SNY for a flight change to Monday morning. So there goes my dinner, my beach time, and my tea times all thrown out because of Jaxson Dart. So nice. He doesn't have a fan in me. He's behind
better be worth it. You better be worth it.
We'll see. Thank you, Connor. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Connor.
Connor Hughes on the Giants quarterback change, and a little bit on the Jets, who actually did trade for a cornerback earlier today, Jarvis Brownlee Jr. from the Tennessee Titans. We'll get back to your calls coming up at 888-808-1019.